Hello, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. This is a test. Well, no, it's not a test. It's going to be well, I don't know what it's going to be. A few hours ago, quite a few hours ago, it's about 11 p.m. now. I think I made about 3 p.m. or whatever. It was a pretty good video. And then while it was uploading and I'd filled in almost everything, I hit something, backspace, or I don't know what I hit, and boom, it disappeared. So here I am, uh, not starting over because I'm not going to do that one for now. I thought it worked out pretty, and it was a good idea, I think, but I'm not going to do it over again. Um, I have a doctor's appointment. I think it's on the 25th. Wait a minute, that can't be that. I hope not. Must be the 29th or something. It's with the eye doctor. I actually had the same 29th. Okay. So, if you remember, I was scheduled to have eye surgery, and what came up? Oh, I couldn't get a physical that I needed from my regular doctor and get it over to the eye doctor. Uh, Not my fault. Uh, they just that my doctor was just too busy. This time, actually, it was not my regular doctor uh, because the same thing sort of came up this time, except my doctor contacted, the uh, ophthalmology people or whatever and said, okay, we've got this, and can we work it this way? And they said, sure. So that's taken care of. Well, that thing is taken care of. That's, I'm not even sure what they call that. Everybody is covering their ass and what have you. But so this test, when I thought I was going to have surgery back a couple months ago, but that was held up by this other thing. And so now I'm going to have the same thing done. So and that's, like when you go to a regular doctor, when you go to an eye doctor, things they the things they do. Now maybe they don't always do that. It depends on if you're going to have, cataracts worked on maybe. So there's a little more to it. Uh, but anyway, so I'm having the same procedure, same thing done, and it's shining a bright laser or something in your eyes and seeing putting the things up and what are your all that kind of stuff. So on the 29th I have to go for that. It uh, we don't have a car, so there's a service here that charges a very low fee to take you by a bus. Now if they can't get a bus because they're too busy or whatever, then they'll use a cab. And you people like me, we pay it's $4 for the trip. You know, if you've taken, that's $4. If you're brought back, that's $4. So I mean that's a good deal. It's a thing provided by the government through taxes and stuff like that. So I'll be going for that. So it's no big deal. Uh, but I mean I have to get out, and do that, and hope I don't piss my pants or something while I'm out, and hope I don't fall down while I'm out. Uh, but So that's the 29th. Now, tomorrow, it's almost midnight now. Tomorrow, let me try this and hope I don't crash something here. No, that is not going to work this time, because that would probably stop this. I've got two cameras going now. You know, both of them high definition or whatever. And stop making, oh wait, maybe if I go here, pause video recording, then I'm afraid to do that. So I'm just going to stick with this shot, and that is this one up here. So tomorrow I'm getting a new, it seems strange saying it, Motorola cell phone. And I've probably had 4 or 5 Motorola, cell phones. One of them, did not have the stylus, but the others did. And now this is and 2 or 3, I think maybe 2 of the Motorola's that I had were actually the very same one, not the very same, it wasn't the very same, but it was same model. Sorry, I'm hungry. So the one that is coming now, it's same with, I think it's a 2020 version or the 2021 version, and this is what, 2026 or something. That doesn't sound right. Don't think it's that old. But this one is slightly different, but it's not the latest Moto. But I think it's going to work for me better. I've mentioned this before numerous times, so you may have heard it. My daughter gave me a Samsung. When it was new, she paid, I think, $900 or $1,000 for it. She got one. She got one for herself. She got one for her grown son, and then they got another one for some reason, and I ended up getting that one. And a beautiful camera, has a lot of power, but it's just, I don't like it. I don't know. When I try to do something with it, I'm sure it's me, but when I try to do something with it, you know how you get notification to check on your security, you try to log in someplace, and then they send a thing that beeps your cell phone, wherever it is. Here it is. Whoops, got it on the charger. When you get the notification, you try to log in someplace, and they're going to send you a notification to prove who you are, And I'm kind of slow. I'm not too smart. So beep beep, or however you have your thing set, and it pops up on the screen, and it may be 6 or 7 numbers. And you and most people probably, oh, okay. You've got it. It popped up there and you saw it. No. One is the thing that I have, which also my oldest daughter has. It's of course she's smart, so I got a couple bad whammies, you know, when I'm sure when 6 or 7 numbers pop up on her screen or whatever, she looks at it, you know, and she's got it in her mind. But she has the same thing I have, and that is uh, she can't. Now, of course, it varies in different ways with everybody. I mean, that has it. Uh, Now, we both have it bad. I mean, you know, the worst you can have it. Um, uh, but I'm sure when it pops up for her, you know, she just instantly, I mean, you know, looks, okay, she's got it. Not me. It pops up, and then I need to write it down or really take a good look at it, you know, and forcibly force it into my, because I can't close my eyes, and, you know, I can't reach in and get that. So, um, but then what happens with the damn camera, with the cell phone, is immediately something will pop up over it, on top of it. And then I take my stylus or whatever, maybe I don't have time to get the stylus out, or try to use it, you know, and try to move it out of the way. And then when I try to move it out of the way, it erases the other one, or they both move together and the one is still covered up. It's just a pain in the butt. The cell phone is, you know, it's trying to help me too much. And it does it in 100 different, I'll say 100 different ways, but it doesn't help me. It makes it more difficult for me. Now the Motorola, the Moto that I'm getting, like I said, I haven't had that particular. They made, when I get it, I'll show it to you, you know, and or talk a little bit about it, or see how it works. It's a larger one than normal, little extra, and there's some other things like that. But I'm hoping that's going to, because it's, man, it's really frustrating, you know, when you want to verify, maybe somebody wants to deposit money into your account, or take money out of your account that you want them to take out of your account or something, and you look over to get it done, or to have it, you know, like some company will want to verify that you are who you say you are, and they send you a code, and I can't get it. And it's a bunch of other things. I go outside, well, I've stopped trying it. Since I was in grade school, my father bought me a used Leica camera, and that was the beginning of me all my life being interested in photography, and several of my kids are too, because I passed on, you know, when I'd get a new and better camera, you know, I'd pass on. And so especially my oldest, LaDonna, and then Hillary's next, and anyway, I think pretty much all 4 of my kids, I think, are, you know, interested in photography because of that. And same with computers. LaDonna, my oldest, you know, when I mentioned repeatedly, which I mentioned because I'm proud of it, and I think it's interesting. You know, I gave my kids a computer. I gave my ex-wife a computer because she was doing artwork, but she was going to shopping malls when they have those things where people are invited, or clubs are invited or whatever, and they come in and they set up their artwork, or it could be ceramics or whatever, and you can sell them there at the mall. And so, you know, LaDonna was, you know, right behind me, and she had a bulletin board system and stuff, but got sidetracked about something. But this, okay, yeah, I think I was heading in that direction, got sidetracked. This, oh, like photography. Oh yeah, photography. I like to take. Oh, my favorite camera though was the twin lens. Not it wasn't a Rolex, but the that you look down each square. The film is 120 or 240, and you look down. You look down at it, and you take has two lenses on it, or yeah, two lenses. I just love that. I mean, this is better, probably. Well, not probably. It gets better, but I still wish I could take. But you can still buy those cameras, but I just love taking pictures that way. But oh, so I go outside on the patio. Of course, my eyesight started acting up about this time too. But I go outside and with the cell phone to take a picture of the moon or the planets. Uh, One of the first, and I think they're still around. I think that's the same one that's around. When I had my computer bulletin board system, operating, uh, a large in Kansas City, Missouri, astronomy club said, "Can we post onto your?" And I said, "Sure." So they posted. Posted. They didn't charge them anything, and I loved watching their, seeing what they were doing. Because photography was my hobby too. I regret they had, of course, in a observing place, with a big telescope in it, out away from the city lights and stuff. And they asked me a couple of times if I wanted to go out, and I didn't go out. And I would have loved to. I've never looked through a telescope, a big telescope. Now, when what's the one that comes through every 75 years or something? When it came through Kansas City, I mean, it came across the United, but when it came through, I bought a cheap, so the kids, and we took the kids outside. Well, I was divorced then, but the kids spent a part of that time they were, with me, several years, in fact. Although Darlene doesn't have a very good conception of time, I think. But I took them out to see Halley's Comet when it came through, and that was a bad time for it. It wasn't very impressive for anybody. I mean, if you were, on top of a mountain someplace, But, so I've always been interested in photography and cameras. Man, I've spent a lot of money on cameras. I've spent a lot of money on computers. Man, I hate to think about it. But right after Halley's Comet came through, there was a comet I've never heard of, but it came through, and I could be driving, going to work or doing something, and I think it was for a couple of weeks, maybe something like that. You could look up and see it, with it in daylight. I mean, you could look up and see it. So that was pretty neat. But I wanted the kids to see, Halley's Comet, and I think, they looked through the thing. Yeah, I see it, Daddy, or whatever they said. I don't think they saw it. So, anyway, I'm getting not the new, but I'm hoping that takes care of my problem. It is really frustrating with this thing. It always, I go out I stop doing that. I go out to take a maybe rainstorm. Now you've seen some of those. Thunder, lightning, the whole thing. You've seen some of those, and I love the rain. And I got some really good pictures. I think I lost them all in Florida. I think what happened then is there was two things that happened that I I got X amount of storage space free or something because of who I was signed up with or something like that, or it came with the software or something. And but then I decided, well, I needed more storage. I really didn't need more storage because I never look at the ones, all the pictures. It's extremely rare for me to go looking for something. I've done it a few times, but it's extremely rare. But I've got a lot of storage. But in, well, I was Orlando, Florida. We lived on the edge of, right by the ramp leading onto the, whatever it was. And Cape Canaveral or Cape Kennedy, whatever it was called at that time. They had launches, and I'd go out and look and see the launches going up. I mean, of course, there were people that were closer. There was also but I'd see it going up, and I took some pictures. And then this one time, I took the pictures. It was daylight, and the space shuttle was going up, and you could see in my picture, the rockets, leaving, breaking away, and leaving the space shuttle, dropping away. And there was also there was something else, or reflections, or what. It was really great. So those were stored on this memory that I paid for, extra. I paid for it. So then I forgot all about. Well, I didn't forget about those pictures. I thought those are really neat pictures, And then I got billed by the company that was providing me with extra space if I paid extra for it, and I had paid extra for it, and I thought, I don't really need it. I don't use it, so I didn't renew the extra amount of storage. And that's where the Cape Canaveral, or whatever it was called then, those were the ones that were lost. That's one of the few pictures, other than for my kids, that was one of the few. I was there, and I took some pictures when the hurricanes came through down there also. But they weren't that great, the pictures, except being there, roads, the apartment complex we lived in, the streets coming in and everything were blocked. Trees had fallen over and stuff like that. That's when I was working at the mall, which was right across the street. That's where I worked for about a year, at the security at the mall. And it was night, I think about 10 o'clock at night. And and I could almost throw a rock from our apartment complex. Actually, it turned into, while we moved in there and rented an apartment, and then the apartment people decided to make all those things condos. So somebody in, I forget where, a guy in Salt Lake City or Las Vegas or something, he bought the place we were in, sight unseen, and he never came, But anyway, we didn't have to move, but we moved. I forget why we moved. But anyway, I was right across the street, and the hurricane was coming. And then I get a phone call from the security officer who was working now. I wasn't late getting there, And I realized later that I was mistaken about what, he called and he said, "Are you coming into work tonight?" And I said, I'm going to try. The hurricane is arriving right now, and I just live right across the street, have to cross over that little bridge. It was not for cars, it was, And he just kept going, "Well, are you coming?" And I said, "I'll be there unless the hurricane gets me, and whatever." And then I was kind of pissed at him But then I realized what he wanted was for me to say, no, I can't make it. And then he would have worked overtime. And when I got there, I found out that the management of the mall, they had brought all kinds of cookies, ice cream, stuff. So he'd have been there, you know. So I wasn't mad at him anymore. You know, he didn't know I was mad at him, you know. But anyway, while I was there, there was a flash boom or whatever, and there went almost all of the security cameras out of commission. So I continued working there for several months, and those cameras were never fixed by the security company. Well, I mean, we were the security company, but we were, you know, an agency that specialized in malls. A lot of these security companies specialize in things, you know. And the one I was working for, I forget the name of it, they had the contracts for a lot of malls across the United States. So it wasn't us, but the management at the mall decided, I don't want to spend the money to fix all those cameras. Now, a few of them still worked, but most didn't. And so then people would be calling at night, you know, going off duty and stuff like that. And they would call security and say, okay, I'll be going through door 12. And we weren't allowed to tell them, you know. Now, of course, what I would do is call, if I were the dispatcher or whatever, you know, I'd call, you know, and let somebody know, hey, somebody's going out, you know. But, and then quite a while after I was no longer working for him, I'm not even sure I was still in Florida. I saw in the paper or something that there was a robbery, armed robbery or something in the parking garage or whatever. And they said the police would be looking at the, you know, the camera, the video. And then I knew somebody, and I called that, you know, somebody who had worked there also. In fact, it was a director of security who worked there, but not for long. Another story. So I called him. I actually sent him an email. And I said, did they ever get those cameras? He said, nope. They didn't want to spend the money. Anyway. Looking forward to the new, well, it's new. It's new because it's new, but I mean, it's been sitting on a shelf someplace in its box, never opened or something, you know, for several years. Or at the factory. I guess the factory would kick out more if people want, you know. But it's too bad I don't. That's what I was working on earlier today. I managed to get 2 cameras at the same time. And I moved stuff in, and it kind of works. It kind of worked. And see, in that case, I could, you know, I could be holding up the camera, and then in the other camera, I could, on the other screen, I could have up the site, you know, and it worked. It looked okay. Not the best, but it worked okay. Much better than this, you know. So it is almost midnight. I don't have anything tomorrow that I have to do except get this, you know, take the chip out, take the memory thing out, and I'll be so happy if it's not hyper like this is. And you know, it may be that I've totally, you know, I think how complicated is it? You know, I killed as much as I could of. Of course, they're always just forcing stuff on you. You know, that thing pops up. A while back, the timer app or something just didn't work for what I needed, you know. Well, you probably know timing pizzas or timing something like that. Um, and so I just needed a timer for 20 minutes, and the one that was on there didn't really work the way it should, or I didn't, you know. And so I installed right away a timer. You know, I did a search and installed one, and it was all over the, you know, all over the place and all that kind of stuff. And two, there was automatically, I think, 3 or 4 loaded that were not, that were competitors with the others that got loaded. So I'm hoping. And another thing that I really hate about this, and I heard different stories about this. Well, I think I know but I always kind of forget about it. But so a telephone or phone rings, and I take it or whatever, and then I'm talking to somebody, and the screen times out. But what's the worst part is I need to do some stuff. You know, they want me to enter enter 1 if you would like to, you know, do this or that, and that kind of stuff. And the screen goes black, goes black, goes black. Now, I've never tried it, but I believe if you hold if you hold this up to your ear, I don't think it goes black, you know, blank. Or something like that. And so I'm hoping that, because I don't remember the other motos that I had. I don't remember them doing that. I mean, I get pissed because, like when I was changing internet service, you know, hit 1 if you want to, or when somebody was trying to hack into my banking account or something, or they're, okay, enter such a, you know, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff, and the screen is going black. The only way for me to keep the screen so I can see the keyboard, you know, so I can see that, so I can hit the numbers, you know, is to tap this fucking screen about this often. And there were several times, and with different cell phones, by the way. I think I know this one, that pisses me. I wanted to, you know, but I'm a poor man. I wanted to fucking smash this thing into the wall, you know. So I don't think I ever experienced that with the Motorola. We'll find out. Okay, this is 33 minutes, and I guess I'll upload this, go to bed, and hope that the cell phone gets here early tomorrow so I can do what I need to do, you know. And hope that when I take this to with me, you know, to wherever I go and to the eye doctor and all that kind of stuff, that I'm able to, you know, call up the thing I need to call, or to call up the information that I need to call up. I've got information on there, and I think this is my stupidity on my part. You know, I got the gate code and things like that, and then I can't find them, you know. And I have not been using the stylus as much as I should. Well, I started using it more and more, but I'm not really putting the stuff in there that I should. So I'm hoping that the Motorola is going to be better. I looked it up. I can't show it, you know, the specs to you. I don't know which direction to go, you know. I need to go back, and I haven't done it yet since that one day that I used it, the CapCut Cult. Then that will work good for us. So, wish me luck. Thanks very much for watching. I'm going to be going to bed here pretty quick.